Hey, what's up everybody? This is Tim Ernst with turnaroundfitness.com, and as you saw the title, I have Rich Piana, Kali Muscle, Michael Hearn, and the reason why I got those guys' names in the title is if you saw my last couple videos, I talked a lot about Rich Piana and how he's doing his Bigger by the Day series, and I actually like watching the videos. It's very entertaining. I like Rich. He seems like a really great guy. From what I've heard other people say, he's a really just an overall nice guy. He has a little bit of a different persona off of YouTube. So, but that's cool. I mean, that's okay. You know, I look forward to his series, you know, and got a lot of hate on my last video. You know, I talked about how I don't agree with a lot of the methods that Rich uses. And one thing you have to understand is that Rich is not a natural bodybuilder. I'm sure everybody can figure that out. You know, he's not a natural bodybuilder. He even tells people that he doesn't encourage what he does as far as his steroid use, but he says if that's a route that you choose, then you choose that route. But he doesn't in no way encourage that type of stuff on anybody. But what I will say is at least he's honest about it. He's honest. He talks about how he's, everything that he takes. He's even put up his steroid cycle for this Bigger by the Day. And I'm sure that, some of his followers are on gear, and then there's some that are natural. And the reason why I want to make this video is that I think there's a big false misconception that you'll ever get as big as Rich, Kali Muscle, Michael Hearn by training really hard, by eating all your meals, that you're ever going to look like those guys. Because the fact of the matter is, you're not. It's a big false lie that it doesn't matter how hard you train, how much you're on your macros, how set you are with those, how dedicated you are. You're never going to look like those guys unless you're on some type of gear. You're just not. So, I'm kind of just sick of all the marketing that's going on about how, you could, all you have to do is eat 12 meals a day, and all you have to do is do this and do that, and you're going to, get huge or, get shredded. Well, what I'll say about getting shredded is I think it's a lot more attainable to get in shredded condition than it is to get big. Number one, to get big, it's going to cost you a lot of money because of all the food you're going to be eating. Number two, the dangers of getting bigger is that it has a lot to do with just longevity. I mean, no one on YouTube is talking about longevity. There's no way you're going to be able to get that big, take massive amounts of gear, and expect to live long, okay? But when you get shredded and you get lean, that is much more attainable, and you're going to live a lot longer. So which would you rather have? I mean, would you rather get huge and live a short life, or get in really good shredded condition and live a very long life and have quality of life as well? Because we all know, what do guys look like after they're off the gear? What do they look like? They get smaller, and then they go back on their cycle, then they blow up. But what happens when they get 56 years old and they come off all the gear? What do they look like? I mean, they look like crap. So the purpose of this video is not to I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just trying to, make it a reality that, you can put on size and get shredded without the gear, but you're never going to look like those guys. I mean, that's just a fact. You're never going to look like those guys. So my channel is dedicated for guys who are natural, and my methods are going to be totally different than Rich's, than Kali Muscle or Michael Hearn. My methods are going to be completely different because I'm not on the gear, okay? So I'm trying to make it practical for you guys to be able to get in top condition, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight. And I've done both, by the way. I've competed in a competition where I lost 22 pounds and I got really shredded. And then after that, I gained 40 pounds. So I know what it takes to get shredded and to get heavier. I've done both. And I did it naturally. And it didn't even take me a long period of time to do it either. Now, do I look like those guys? Rich and Kali and Michael Hearn? No, I don't look like those guys. May I live longer than they do? Possibly, but hey, who knows? Accidents happen, things happen. So you really don't know. So one thing I want to do is I do want to correct myself, on the video that I made, I talked about how it's not necessary to drink a protein shake immediately after your workout. And I do stand corrected that it wasn't a protein shake that Rich was taking, it was a carb drink, and I know he takes that to get the carb pump, after his workout. But I'm not a big believer in the the workout window as far as getting in your protein and carbs like right away, because I mean, logically, think about it. Are you really going to lose all your gains because you didn't drink your carb or protein shake immediately after the workout? Of course not. Now, I wait about 30 minutes to an hour because the body needs to do its thing before you start putting things back into the body for recovery. And I actually posted some comments about the reason why. I'll go ahead and put that in the description of this video, the reason why you don't want to take anything immediately after. There is some scientific basis to that. And I feel like I get better recovery results when I do wait that 30 minutes to 60 minutes. So make sure to check the description. I'll put that in there as to why that is. Because it does help if you do wait. It does. Now, I will say there's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, if you're someone who's really, really struggling to put on weight, I recommend taking an intra-workout shake and taking a post-workout shake right away. And that's carbs. So you could be sipping on carbs 30 minutes into your workout and then sip on carbs immediately after the workout. That's if you're like, way under 12% body fat, then yes, go ahead and do that. Or if you're someone who's struggling to put on weight, then go, by all means, take the carbohydrates, during and after the workout. Now, if you're 12% and above body fat percentage, then you don't need the carbs. You can use your fat source as energy and fuel to get through the workouts, and you don't need it after the workout either, because you're going to get your protein and carbs, post-workout 30 to 60 minutes after is going to be more beneficial to you than taking carbohydrates immediately after the workout. Again, it has to do with the fat cells, and I'll, like I said before, I'll put that description in the, I'll put that link in the description to that study. So anyway, guys, I just want to make it a reality because, there's so much marketing involved when it comes to, building muscle. These guys are, the marketing is just ridiculous. I mean, if you know how to market very well, you can sell anything. And I'll give you a couple examples. The #1 restaurant in the world. Do you know what the #1 restaurant is in the world? McDonald's. Do they have the best tasting food? No. The reason why they're so successful is because of marketing. Here's a second example. Do you know what the best selling wine is in the whole world? Franzia. And it comes in a box. Go figure. Why? It's marketing. Everything is marketing. You could take a crappy product or a mediocre product, and if you know how to market the crap out of that thing, you're going to become successful. Okay? Now, I'm not recommending you do that. I do recommend if, let's say you want to produce a product or a workout program, you want to make sure it's a really good program. And then with the marketing on top of it, then you're going to be very successful. So, I'm just kind of sick and tired of seeing all this stuff, man. Just, people that market all this stuff saying, well, if you eat what I eat and you train like I train, you can look like me. That's a bunch of crap. You're never going to look like those people unless you're on gear, okay? So again, I'll probably get some hate on this video. I by no means are hating on any of these guys. I find their workout routines motivational. I find them, entertaining. But you got to remember, guys, those guys that are going into the gym that are on gear, they're able to have the aggression. They're able to get the motivation to train that hard in the gym. Whereas us natural guys, we're stuck to, a pre-workout, high doses of caffeine to get motivation. That's only going to get you so far, But these guys actually inject liquid motivation, liquid aggression, okay? Now, I've heard, steroid users say, well, you still couldn't train as hard as me, even if I was off the gear. I don't believe that for a second, because if I was on that gear, I guarantee you, I'd be able to have the aggression that they have and the motivation to get in the gym and train as hard as they do, if I was on that kind of, that gear. Let's just face it, steroids give you the aggression to train hard in the gym, okay? Steroids will also push you through the workout and through the pain. Yeah, you get massive pumps, but man, that pump is awesome. I've gotten pumps before without taking steroids, and they feel great. But when you're on steroids, holy cow, you're able to get through the workouts much more easier than a guy who's natural, man. Natural guys, we got to really push ourselves. We've got to have it mentally, prepare for the gym. Where these guys, they're injecting this stuff. They've got the motivation. So, I just want to warn you guys, just be careful. There is an assault on the male physique and the female physique. You know, the society tells us what a woman should look like. Okay, society tells us what a man should look like. And it's all a bunch of garbage. I mean, it really is. I mean, you've got to be really happy with yourself. I mean, a lot of these guys, let's face it, a lot of these guys that are really big, they have a little bit of an insecurity problem. Okay? And, you know, let me ask you, why did you join the gym? I admit, I joined the gym for certain reasons. You know, I went through a terrible breakup with my girlfriend, and this is going back, a decade ago, so it doesn't really matter now. But, I find a lot of guys will join the gym because of a couple things. They want more confidence, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with building confidence. I believe that it's good to get in the gym, and so that way you can get more confidence about yourself. I think that's great. But there is a limit. I mean, you can really go too far with it and get to a point where when is enough enough? You really got to decide when is enough enough. Anyway, guys, I just want to go ahead and, I just want to make this video. And I know I got a lot of hate on that other video talking about Rich. I did make some mistakes on that video about him, he was sipping on a carb drink, not a protein drink. So that's my bad on that. I didn't realize that. And I also made another video about cardio, and he claims that cardio builds muscle. All cardio does is it allows you to eat more food without gaining all the fat. That is the reason for cardio. Cardio, the activity of cardio itself, when you strip everything away, the act of doing cardio itself does not build muscle. Okay? It prevents you to eat more so you don't gain a lot of fat, but that's it. So anyway, guys, that's all I want to say. This is Tim Ernst with TurnaroundFitness.com, and remember to train hard, eat smart, and pursue your dreams.